Part 5, The Unexpected Twist. Ao hesitated, torn between his criminal instinct and a sudden pang of conscience. He had never encountered a child in his line of work, and Lola's innocent eyes bore into his soul. The scorching heat inside the car intensified, and beads of sweat formed on Ao's forehead. He glanced around the parking lot, paranoia gripping him. What if someone had seen him? What if the police were already on their way? His mind raced, calculating the risks. But then, something unexpected happened. The memory of his own childhood flooded back. Ao had grown up in the same city, surviving on the streets, stealing to feed himself. He remembered the nights when hunger gnawed at his belly, and he'd wish for someone to show him kindness. Lola's vulnerability struck a chord deep within him. He wiped his sweaty palms on his jeans and made a decision. Instead of breaking into the car, he crouched down and peered through the window. Lola's tear-streaked face melted his heart. She was too young to understand the danger she was in, but Ao knew he couldn't leave her there. With trembling hands, he fumbled for his phone and dialed the emergency number. Hello. Yes, there's a child locked in a car at the Ab-Bodon Mall parking lot, he whispered, glancing around nervously. Please hurry. As he waited, Ao kept talking to Lola through the window. Hey, little one, he said softly. Don't worry. Help is on the way. You'll be okay. Lola's eyes widened, and she pressed her tiny hand against the glass, as if trying to reach him. Minutes later, the sound of sirens filled the air. Ao stepped back, watching as the police officers arrived. They skillfully unlocked the car, and Lola stumbled out, gasping for fresh air. Kemi, her frantic mother, rushed over, tears streaming down her face. She hugged Lola tightly, whispering words of gratitude. The crowd that had gathered applauded Ao, the notorious car thief turned unlikely hero. He stood there, conflicted, knowing that his past wouldn't magically disappear. But in that moment, he felt a glimmer of redemption. As the police led him away, Ao glanced back at Lola. She waved, her innocent smile etching itself into his memory. Maybe, just maybe, this unexpected twist would change the course of his life forever. And so, in the hot city of Ab-Bodon, fate wove its intricate threads, connecting unlikely souls, a desperate thief, a worried mother, and a little girl named Lola. Their paths intersected, leaving behind a story that would echo through time, reminding us all that compassion can emerge even from the darkest corners. Chapter 6, Redemption's Echo. The news of Ao's unexpected act of kindness spread like wildfire through Ab-Bodon. The city, known for its bustling markets, vibrant culture, and sweltering heat, now had a new legend, a thief who had turned savior. People whispered about him in hushed tones, their curiosity piqued. Kemi, Lola's mother, couldn't believe her luck. She invited Ao to their modest home, offering him a simple meal. As they sat on mismatched chairs, the air thick with unspoken questions, Kemi finally asked, "Why did you save my daughter?" Ao's eyes darted around the room, avoiding hers. "I don't know," he mumbled. "Maybe I've stolen enough. Maybe it was time to give back." Lola, oblivious to the weight of their conversation, played with her doll. Her innocence clashed with Ao's past, creating an odd harmony. Kemi studied him, the scruffy beard, the scar on his cheek, the haunted look in his eyes. She saw layers of pain, secrets buried deep. "Tell me your story," Kemi urged. "How did you become a thief?" And so, Ao began. He spoke of hunger, desperation, and survival. He recounted nights spent under bridges, stealing scraps to survive. His voice cracked as he described the first time he'd stolen a loaf of bread from a bakery. "I thought it was my only choice," he confessed. Kemi listened, her heart torn. She had her own struggles, single motherhood, bills piling up, but she couldn't turn away from Ao's vulnerability. "You saved my daughter," she said softly. "Maybe it's time for a different path." Chapter 7, The Hidden Scroll. Ao's transformation didn't go unnoticed. The elders of Ab-Bodon gathered in the shade of the ancient baobab tree. Chief Oletunji, with his weathered face and wisdom etched into every line, spoke first. "Ao," he said, "you've disrupted the threads of destiny. But redemption isn't a single act, it's a journey. He handed Ao a worn scroll, the scroll of forgotten heroes. Within these words, Chief Oletunji said, lies the path to redemption. Seek the lost stories, unravel the knots of injustice, and mend what's broken. Ao unrolled the scroll, eyes widening. It contained tales of forgotten heroes, ordinary people who had defied fate. There was the fisherman who saved a drowning child, the weaver who wove hope into her tapestries, and the beggar who shared his last coin. As Ao read, he felt a strange warmth, the echo of compassion. He vowed to follow the scroll's guidance. With Kemi's encouragement, he started a small bakery, offering free bread to hungry children. Lola, now his little helper, giggled as she shaped dough. Chapter 8, The Midnight Heist. But destiny isn't linear. One moonless night, Ao received an anonymous message, a plea for help. The city's corrupt mayor hoarded grain, leaving the poor to starve. Ao hesitated. Stealing from a thief, was it redemption or regression? He gathered a motley crew, the reformed pickpocket, the widow with nimble fingers, and the street artist who painted hope on crumbling walls. They infiltrated the mayor's mansion, silent as shadows. Ao's heart raced as he cracked the safe, revealing bags of grain. But then he saw the mayor's ledger, the names of those he'd exploited. Ao's hands trembled. He couldn't steal just for the hungry, he had to expose the truth. He copied the ledger, leaving behind a single loaf of bread. As dawn broke, Ao stood at the city square, the ledger in hand. The crowd gathered, their anger palpable. The mayor, flanked by guards, sneered. What can a thief reveal? Ao stepped forward, his voice steady. The names of those you've crushed, he said. Their stories matter. The crowd surged, demanding justice. The mayor's empire crumbled, and Ao, once a thief, became a symbol, the weaver of destiny's tapestry. And so, the Ab-Bodon chronicles continued, weaving threads of redemption, courage, and compassion. Lola grew up knowing that heroes could emerge from unlikely places, and Ao found solace in writing his own story. Chapter 9, Whispers of the Baobab Tree. The ancient baobab tree stood at the heart of Ab-Bodon, its gnarled roots sinking deep into the soil. Locals believed it held the city's secrets, the whispered confessions of lovers, the silent prayers of the desperate, and the echoes of forgotten tales. Under its sprawling branches, Ao sought answers. He returned to Chief Oletunji, the keeper of tradition. The old man's eyes crinkled as he welcomed Ao. You've chosen a treacherous path, he said. The scroll of forgotten heroes reveals both light and shadow. Ao nodded. Tell me about the weaver, he urged. The one who wove hope into her tapestries. Chief Oletunji settled on a woven mat, his fingers tracing patterns. Her name was Adoni, he began. She lived in a tiny hut near the river. Her loom was her companion, a wooden frame that held threads of every hue. Adoni's tapestries were no ordinary fabric. They told stories, the rise of the sun over the hills, the dance of fireflies on moonlit nights, and the laughter of children chasing dragonflies. Each thread held a memory, a piece of Ab-Bodon's soul. But Adoni had a secret. She could weave destiny itself. When drought parched the land, she wove rain into existence. When lovers quarreled, she spun threads of reconciliation. Her fingers danced, coaxing miracles from silk and wool. One day, a stranger arrived, a man with eyes like storm clouds. He watched Adoni weave, his gaze hungry. I seek power, he whispered. Weave me a path to dominion. Adoni hesitated. Power had its price. She wove a tapestry, a labyrinth of choices, each thread a decision. The man followed it, his steps echoing through time. But when he reached the center, he found not a throne but a mirror, a reflection of his own emptiness. He wept, realizing that true power lay in compassion, not conquest. Adoni's loom hummed, unraveling his arrogance. The man left, transformed, a healer who tended to wounded souls. Adoni's fame spread. People flocked to her hut, seeking tapestries for love, healing, and courage. But she remained humble, her hands calloused from weaving dreams. And always, the baobab tree whispered its approval. Chapter 10, The Labyrinth of Choices. Ao traced Adoni's footsteps. He visited the riverbank, where her hut once stood. All that remained were shards of pottery and the scent of jasmine. He wondered about her. Did she weave her own destiny? The scroll of forgotten heroes revealed more tales. There was Okochukwu, the fisherman who saved the drowning child. His net had snagged not just fish, but fate itself. The child grew up to be a storyteller, weaving Okochukwu's heroism into legends. And then there was Nia, the beggar with a heart of gold. She shared her last coin with a hungry boy. That boy became a scholar, writing treatises on kindness. Nia's legacy lived on, etched in ink. Ao pondered his own threads, the choices that had led him here. Redemption wasn't linear, it was a labyrinth. He vowed to weave a different path, one of compassion, justice, and second chances. As he sat beneath the baobab tree, its leaves rustling like ancient parchment, Ao felt Adoni's presence. Perhaps destiny was a loom, and they were all weavers, intertwining their stories. And so, the Ab-Bodon chronicles continued, each chapter adding layers to the city's tapestry. Ao's transformation mirrored Adoni's, weaving hope one thread at a time. Chapter 11, The Weaver's Lament. Adoni's loom stood in the corner of her hut, bathed in the soft glow of dawn. Its wooden frame bore the scars of countless threads, each one a choice made or unmade. Adoni herself was a mosaic of memories, a woman with eyes like the river at twilight. She wove not just tapestries but leaves. Her fingers danced across the warp and weft, pulling strands from the fabric of existence. When lovers quarreled, she wove threads of forgiveness. When sickness swept through the village, she spun healing into the air. But Adoni's gift came with a price. She glimpsed the threads of tragedy, the frayed edges of life's cut short, the knots of unfulfilled dreams. Her nights were haunted by visions, the cries of children lost in the labyrinth of fate. One moonless night, Adoni received a visitor. His name was Aloy, a wanderer with eyes like storm clouds. He carried a burden, an egg that weighed down his steps. "Weave me a path," he implored. "A path away from regret." Adoni hesitated. She saw the labyrinth, the choices that led to this moment. Aloy's thread was tangled, knotted by betrayal and missed opportunities. She wove a tapestry, a map of his past, its twists and turns illuminated by moonlight. Aloy followed the path, tracing memories. He saw the day he left his childhood sweetheart, choosing ambition over love. He witnessed the betrayal, the friend who stole his dreams. And at the center of the tapestry, he faced a mirror, a reflection of his own brokenness. "Why?" Aloy whispered. "Why show me this?" Adoni's voice was gentle. "Because redemption lies not in erasing the past, but in weaving a new future. Mend the frayed threads. Seek forgiveness. And remember, Aloy, every choice is a stitch in the grand design." Chapter 12, The Forgotten Letters. Ao sat by the river, the scroll of forgotten heroes in his lap. The sun painted ripples on the water, and he read about Nia, the beggar who shared her last coin. But there was more to her story. Nia had once been a scholar, a woman of letters. Her ink-stained fingers danced across parchment, recording ancient tales. But life's currents shifted. Poverty swept her away, leaving her with nothing but a tattered cloak and a heart full of compassion. In the dusty corners of Ab-Bodon's library, Ao discovered forgotten letters, Nia's words preserved like fragile butterflies. They spoke of hope, justice, and the ache of lost dreams. Ao traced the curves of her handwriting, feeling the weight of centuries. One letter stood out, a plea to the gods. Nia wrote of a hidden well, the Well of Echoes. Legend said its waters held memories, the whispers of those who had passed through life's labyrinth. Nia believed that by drinking from the well, she could mend the broken threads of fate. Ao embarked on a quest. He followed Nia's cryptic clues, the gnarled tree, the silver moon, the scent of jasmine. The well lay deep within the forest, its surface shimmering like liquid time. Ao knelt, cupping his hands, and drank. The memories flooded him, the laughter of children, the taste of forbidden fruit, the touch of a lover's lips. But woven into those memories were regrets, the stolen loaf of bread, the harsh words spoken, the paths untaken. As Ao emerged from the forest, he felt changed. The well's waters had stitched something within him, a resolve to weave compassion into every choice. He returned to Ab-Bodon, sharing Nia's letters with the world. Chapter 13, Threads Unraveled. And so, the city buzzed with whispers, the weaver, the fisherman, the beggar, all connected by threads of destiny. Ao's bakery flourished, its aroma mingling with Adoni's jasmine. Lola grew, her laughter echoing through the streets. Chief Oletunji watched from the baobab's shade. Destiny, he mused, is a loom we all share. Our choices ripple outward, shaping lives. Ao nodded. He had unraveled his old life, the thief's mask discarded. Now, he wove new patterns, bread for the hungry, stories for the soul. As for Adoni, she vanished one moonless night. Some said she became a star, her light guiding lost travelers. Others claimed she merged with the river, her essence flowing through Ab-Bodon's veins.